Welcome back. We had two new cards to talk about, and we have the rest of the set to talk about also. Yes, I kind of lost my voice, so I am sick. Also, this was revealed like 2 days ago, so yesterday or 2 days ago, but it was only one card, so it felt kind of weird to cover it. So now that there's another card to talk about, it will actually be a lot better. But first card is Rapunzel Pure Grace. This is a 3 cost double gen, and it is the purple color trigger for the deck, for the Goddess Pill at least. This card is also treated as Rapunzel, which means you can raid over with the 5 cost Rapunzel, unironically. On play, add up to 1 trait Goddess card with a required energy of 3 or less and AP cost of 1, other than Rapunzel Pure Grace, from your sideline to your hand. Really good card. It's free recursion, and you don't have to raid it. My only issue, again, this is the same issue I had with the 5 cost Rapunzel. It doesn't let you play it to the field. I mean, the 5 cost was worse because you had the raid on it, and it's a 5 cost, which means if you didn't see double gens in your game, you're never playing her. Um, it's just, again, in terms of gameplay and lore, this should have allowed you to play it to the field. Adding cards from your sideline to your hand is awesome, except the problem is it's really, really slow. You're having to add a card to your hand. That's 1 AP to play this, and then you have to use another AP to play said card if you wanted to. In my opinion, the fix would have been add up to 1 trait Goddess card with requiring energy of 3 or less and AP cost of 1, other than Rapunzel Pure Grace, from your sideline to your hand. If you discard a card from your hand, you can play that card to your field rested, for example, or even active. The problem is power creep has changed to where the meta is deck stack and shit out bodies super, super fast. And the problem is Evangelion, for example, Kagurabachi, Tokyo Ghoul, they all output bodies incredibly fast. Ava especially, because holy shit, 7 cost Shinji plays a card for free, sideline something, and then you can you could use this when played effect to play another Shinji or whatever to your field. It's just really stupid. Just because the meta is just cards that can output bodies super fast, and by turn 2, turn 3, decks are able to just full board their entire front line super, super fast. Granted, that's the kind of board that they kind of have to roll it with, but on a mid roll, they can still do it, which is why I'm kind of disappointed that this only adds it to your hand. But it's still a good card, anyways, for Goddess. I just wish Pilgrims also got a card like this, like just another Rapunzel that lets you at least play it to the field. I don't know, something to make the deck actually playable. And then our second card is Snow White Innocent Days. This is a 4 cost single gen. It is a raid trigger and not a get trigger, which is really, really nice. This card is also treated as Snow White, which is useful because of the name and all that stuff. However, the raid is Snow White Innocent Days, which means you cannot raid over unlike the Rapunzel here, which you can use the Volume 1 5 cost Rapunzel and raid over this card. This one you cannot raid over the original Pilgrim, or I guess the original Snow White from Volume 1, which kind of sucks. I mean, because you only have 2 targets to raid on, I believe. I think you have a 0 cost and a 1 cost, so you only have 8 bases, which is still not bad, but still, it would have been nice if you could kind of mix and match Goddess and Pilgrims, but they're clearly just making it so that the builds are completely different. They can't be played together for the most part. Anyways, so that's her effect outside of her raid. She's always treated as Snow White. Her raid effects: she has Impact Negate, activate main while in front line once per turn. Note, this is a soft once per turn, which means if you have multiple copies, you can use it more than once. Choose 1 trait Goddess card on your area. It gets 1000 BP during this turn. When attacking, if there's Red Hood on your area, draw 1 card. This is just part of their lore in game because they're very close together, like a tight knit bond. So, yeah, getting a Red Hood on your field is super easy, and you can just draw a card every time you attack. And she's a 4K attacker, which is nice. No, she can also boost herself if you want to, so she can be a 5K. But this also makes sense because we haven't really seen BP boosters in purple, and the 6 cost Red Hood, you need her to be a 6K in order to gain impact with her. So it makes sense that this this Snow White exists now, because then you can just double these up. Because in on play, the Red Hood gets like 1K BP, and then you can use this booster once, and she's a 6K impactor, and then after she's played, if you get 2 of these out, you can boost the Red Hood by 2K, give her a 6K impact, whatever. So kind of nice. It's really good that this is a raid trigger too, and an impact negate is just super nice. So this is just a good raid in general. And then the last thing I want to talk about, this is the set list. Precious boosters are very small. Very, very small, by the way. We are missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. In terms of numbers, this included you can see here the 3 cost Rapunzel. It didn't include the Snow White at the time of this graphic, which was yesterday. Which means that this slot is the Snow White, which means you only have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So, based on this list, we have another purple card, one more purple card, and then we have 2 more greens, and then 1 more yellow. Um, my issues are evident. One, for yellow, we have no new cards for Missilus slash. Oh, sorry, not Missilus. We have no new cards for Exotic slash Wardress. I know a Precious Booster is small, but I don't know why they didn't give us more cards for it. This uses Red Hood Rappy. This is like chapter 20. I want to say 24 or something. I think it's like 23, 24, which means Exotic Wardress could have easily gotten new cards. However, it looks like they either don't get any new cards or only get one, which really sucks because they can easily expand the set to do more. I just don't understand why they wouldn't. I'm not unhappy that they didn't do a volume 2 because I think another color could be potentially clogging. Granted, I like to see heretics in the game, but it is what it is. But for Precious Booster, they could have easily expanded the set to add a couple more cards for Exotic Wardress. Because right now that deck is like decent. It's like a control deck. But it definitely needs a lot more upgrades to make them more consistent. Not in terms of like search potential, but more in terms of like getting the cards that you need and then keeping them on the board and stuff. But yeah, hopefully they get a new card, but I don't know at this point. Purple, we will probably get another Red Hood or an event or something. I don't know. Just don't have high hopes that it'll make the deck like super amazing. And then 2 more green cards will be really nice. Hopefully it's another card for Tetra, and then well, based on the slots, it looks like 1 more for Tetra, 1 more for Missilus, which is really nice. But yeah, we're almost done with the reveals, and then once we have the reveals out, and then once they're all on Exburst, I'm gonna do a whole video talking about all the cards together, and then talking about my actual thoughts on the deck's compositions and stuff. But that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.